Have you heard the saying, the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in battle? That's valid during the selection process too. The more rounds of selection and the more complete the process, the higher the chances of selecting the right candidate. But we must be careful. Too long of a procedure might discourage candidates or, even worse, other companies could make a concrete job offer and steal them from us. However, short selection processes are something companies should avoid, as the costs of hiring an incompetent person are high. There are several ways to evaluate if a candidate will succeed on the job. One is to apply selection activities. This is a great technique that shows us whether the candidate has the right skills and personality to do the job. When designing the selection process, we should remember the top requirements for the position. If the candidate shows she is competent in these areas, we can be a lot more comfortable making an offer. If I'm looking to hire a finance manager, I would center the selection process around testing her knowledge of enterprise resource planning systems, accounting, financial analysis skills, and leadership qualities. It is not practical to test over 4 or 5 top requirements for the job, because we risk making the selection process chaotic and substantially increasing its duration. Okay, how do we test these skills? There are several ways to do it. I am a firm believer in assessment tests and their ability to provide an overview of the candidate's skills. These tests are not sufficient to select a candidate, but they can be very useful as they give a good indication about a candidate's numerical, verbal, or analytical skills. For more experienced positions, where a certain level of knowledge is required, we can use case studies and open-end questions to assess a candidate's technical skills. HR and division managers should interview the people applying for the job too. There are different ways to organize interviews. One-on-one interviews consist of having a conversation with a manager or an HR representative. Here, it depends who conducts the interview. An HR would try to assess a candidate's motivation and personality, ask her questions to understand whether she will be the right fit for the organization. A manager will try to imagine whether she will be a good colleague, whether she is sufficiently independent. They will try to assess her technical skills. If a candidate is interviewing with her future boss, the boss will be eager to hear what skills the candidate brings to the table and how these skills will enrich the team. The manager will also want to evaluate the candidate's growth potential. Then there are panel interviews. It is difficult enough to interview with one person, but when a person does a panel interview, they the interviewer is interested in. In a group interview, the candidate will be put in a room with other people applying for the job. The aim of the exercise is to measure her social skills and how that person fits in a group of people. This is how the selection process for an open position can be organized. Next, we'll talk about the actual selection of candidates and their onboarding period. Fantastic job so far, and thanks for watching.